t-shirt, new shoes, and I don't know where I'm going to. Silk suit, like that. I don't need a reason why they come running just as they can. Cause every girl crazy about a sharp dressed man.
If you can hear me, put a 1, please.
So watch, diamond ring. I ain't missing not a single thing. Cuff rings, stick in. When I step out, I'm gonna do you in. They come running just as fast as they can. Every girl crazy about a sharp dressed man.
All right, we are in business. Very good, very good. I hate to cut off ZZ Talk. I love to hear Dusty's voice in the background. Oh, yeah. All right, that is enough of that. We will revisit this issue in a little while, ZZ. All right, very cool. Sorry about that what do you call it? A technological hiccup. Apologies about that. Let me also, I got to take something off. I've got to move that. There we go. Okay. So I'm not sure. At this point, I think what I will put up is I'll put up my map. Did I take my map down? All of the, oh, I bet I know where it is. Hold on. Fighting with the computer, I think I took some of my, yeah, I did. Okay. So I got to pull back up my Google Maps. Man, I hate when this happens, y'all. I have everything all planned out and all of the websites I was going to use, it's all up there ready to go. And then my silly microphone did its old trick. And now I'm, fumbling about. So please forgive me. Y'all just say hello to each other. And let me see, 160 East Flatiron. Oh, Google Maps is slow too. Come on, Google, what's wrong with you? I'm having serious computer issues today. That is so weird. Of course, I did update some software, and that's probably what threw everything off. Okay, that is spelled properly. Google Maps. Okay, so why aren't you giving me the site? GOO. Okay, that's it. Pick me where I want to go, please. I want to go to 160 East Flatiron Crossing, sir. 160 East Flatiron Crossing. There it is, Springfield. All right, we are just about in business here, people. Bear with me. It's so frustrating for this to happen. I promise you. I'm very sorry. Get that reorganized there. Get that reorganized. Now, where's my duck? Here's my duck. All right, I think we're good, peeps. I think we are in business now. Okay. Dun 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 bum 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 bum. Ooh, it's small, isn't it? All right, so here is, oh man, I hate to update. All right, well, that's as big as it's going to get for us, okay? Should have done Google Maps. Okay. So, what are we going to talk about today? Well, we are going to talk about Men's Warehouse and fashion that was heavily on the mind of Barry Morphew, interestingly enough, on Mother's Day, May the 10th. You remember the day where he got up at 4 a.m. and gently, lovingly kissed his beautiful bride goodbye as she lay in bed in a quotation marks lump, and he could hear her snoring as he left. This is the story. This is actually the way he describes to the police. Well, the last time I saw Suzanne, she was naked and she was in a lump under the covers, snoring. That's what he said. Now, this after he tells people that, you know, they were so in love. They took romantic walks to Foose's Creek and looked at the waterfall. Well, I don't know if there's a waterfall, but y'all stay with me. I'm taking a little artistic liberty here, okay? Y'all just bear with me. If you want cold, hard facts, you're going to have to go to a channel like Duty Rod. I am far, far less competent, okay? But I take a lot of artistic liberties to try to make it interesting. So just stay with me for a second. So they're on the romantic walk, looking forward to their steaks cooked with Jif peanut butter. I don't know, but that's what they do. And then they get home and they're so filled with love and adoration for one another. It's just like a second honeymoon. The children are gone camping over Mother's Day weekend without their mother, and they go camping. And so Barry and Suzanne are being honeymooners, and they actually have a steak that they share together on one plate. And this, I'll have you know, is not wild speculation. Yes, today is in fact Friday, but today we are bringing the tea. Today we are bringing facts. I too, Chantilly, find myself nauseated when I have to talk about his story of love and adoration for the body. Quotation marks. Fact. Barry and his friends did in fact refer to Suzanne as, quotation marks, the body. I ask you something, ladies. Could you be any more objectified than to be called by your husband the body? Horrible. Look, I'm good with romance. I like romance. I like love. But I don't quite understand where the emotion and the affection and the commitment is just to one's body. She has a name, right? Oh, look at Moonlight View. Moonlight View is being clever. Moonlight is being very clever. Honeymooners. Yeah. Okay. Her last photo from the loving husband. She looks drunk. And Gruesing, I think, Detective Gruesing is a great guy. I really like him. He said during the preliminary hearing, he said, I just thought she looked happy. Like, we just saw a picture of her. She just looked happy to us. But Barry said she looked drunk. Barry did a lot of talking about Suzanne being drunk and being on drugs and having a street dealer named, I don't remember, was it THC Timmy? Was that his name? Timothy Agnew. Kind of sounds a lot like Spiro Agnew, but I don't think there's any relation. But Barry talked about this drug dealer. And so you're grabbing and clutching your pearls and reaching for your smelling salts. And you're like, holy hell, drug dealers. She's buying drugs off the street. My God, maybe she had a drug bill that was so big and she couldn't pay it. And that's who took her. Yes, even THC Timmy got the finger pointed at him. But you're okay, Timmy, because you're in the same club as God. Barry Morphew pointed his finger at God and said, well, maybe God did it because he was mad at Suzanne for having an affair. I know. There's a lot. I understand, Barry. There's a lot of potential suspects. But here's one of the problems with THC. Timmy, you're in Colorado, Barry. I was at the Jug and Loaf. Is that the name of the little generic Circle K? I think that was what it was called. The Jug and Loaf. It's just a little, CBD, Timmy. Excuse me. Kazati, thank you for keeping me honest today. I appreciate that. Okay. So CBD, Timmy, not THC, Timmy. Thank you. CBD, Timmy, who actually was one of Barry's friends, because we know that Barry purchased CBD oil from Timmy. Come on, Barry, you're sure that wasn't THC tincture? Just asking for a friend. Now then, back on target. So you get this impression that she's buying drugs off the street. She's got a real problem with substances, right? But it turns out that she was buying weed or gummies, THC, right? And I'm thinking, but why? Why would you take a chance in Colorado? Why would you take a chance to buy THC products from someone off the street, not knowing if fentanyl was added to it or something more dangerous added to it, when you can just go down to the damn gas station and get you, a bag of Doritos, a Diet Coke, half-gallon of milk, and a pack of Willie's Finest, Willie's Select. On the road again. I just can't wait to be on the road again. Yeah, so Barry, I don't know. I don't understand this whole idea that she's buying drugs off the street when you're in Colorado and you can find Willie's Select, which is, each cigarette's got like 100 grams of the THC. This is some serious weed that you can buy from Willie's products. Why would you have to buy it off the street when you can walk in a store? It's going to be right next to the Three Musketeers and Doritos. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's another person he pointed the finger at. That was CBD Timmy. Sorry, CBD, to put you on the spot today. But I think you're probably a great guy, so don't worry. Don't forget the mountain lion. And now there's a serial killer. I hope it's not a serial killer. So you will notice too, I have to say, I'm pretty proud of my artwork. Oh, hold on. I'm having so much technology trouble today, people. There you go. Who notices the message in my artwork today? Let's see if we have any art critics. What's the messaging? Where are our art critics? Hey, Caspi, we are well today. Hey, Gregory, Suzanne was too smart to buy it off the street. Of course. And look, I don't know if you've been to Colorado, Gregory, but dispensaries are everywhere. Everywhere. Like here in Texas, we have like drive-through beer barns. you can buy alcohol anywhere in Texas, even in uh, the drugstore, like Walgreens, right? In Colorado, you can buy weed. Just you don't have to go more than a block, and there'll be another dispensary. Some of them are like really high class, kind of medical looking establishments, and others are really fun, kind of hippie culture, but they're everywhere. So it doesn't really make it doesn't really make sense why he dragged CBD Timmy into the mix. CBD Timmy was his buddy that he's already buying CBD oil from. So it's weird. So let's see what our art critics are saying. Real Angel Girl. All right, so she says chipmunks and bobcats and Viking berry. Yes, but what is the meaning behind this? T, please. I love my little chipmunk skiing down. Yes, it's true. Barry Morphew is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law by a jury of his peers. So he is allegedly innocent, Barry Morphew. But we got skiing chipmunks. What about the chipmunk sitting on his shoulder? Is that a frightened little monk? Oh no, that is a chipmunk that is relaxed and feeling happy because the world is safe again for small woodland creatures, right? And what do you make of the turquoise or teal blue bobcat? What do you guys make of that pretty beautiful bobcat? I would move to Colorado, but I'm afraid of a mountain lion dragging me off my back. I think you're okay, Gregory. I think you'll be safe. Fantasy mountain lion. Yeah. Well, a fantasy mountain lion, but maybe it is Suzanne coming back in the form of would-be cat. She will get her justice. I'm certain of it, right? If you believe that she will get her justice, put a 1. If you think I am full of it, put a 2. No, don't do that. Don't. No 2s allowed. All right. Now then, so let's get serious. We're kind of just playing and having a little bit of fun. That's okay. Now I'm going to put our map back up. There's our map. I sure am disappointed that it's not bigger than it is, but I don't know what that's about. I updated some software. It got everything messed up. I've got to go back and fix everything now. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. So what this is the location of the men's warehouse that is in the Flatiron Crossing. Okay, and it's an interesting location. This was one of the dump sites where Barry's running around, he's going to McDonald's and stopping along the way at these various trash bins. I think he had 5 locations that he stopped at. And so this is what it looks like. All right. Right off of the 36 Turnpike. And then if we go here, I think I'll start back over here. All right, now that should be easier for y'all to see. Okay, so this is the location. This is where he's at. All right. Now the thing I want you to pay attention to is the other stores. What? What's wrong with that store? Seems to be empty. Because it is. And when you go back over here, oh, you can't see it unless I'm on the other side, I guess. Let's see. Empty store. So it's a really isolated area, and you got this one lone soldier business hanging on for dear life, which is the men's warehouse. Now, this is the location, despite what Anne may be telling you, this is the location where Barry Morphew spent 30 minutes, a little bit over 30 minutes here at the men's warehouse. And it was a very interesting stop for him that day. I mean, he had a lot of interesting stops, okay? But to me, this one has always stayed with me, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. Okay, if I can get around to where there's a trash bin. I believe that's it right there. All right. So here's the trash bin. There's another little area here, and then there's the door, right? So this is where Barry is at. Okay. Quite isolated area. I mean, you've got stuff happening across the 4-lane. You can see the Holiday Inn over here in the distance. But if he was parked over here, there's Men's Warehouse. If he's back over here, all of these stores are empty. Okay. And I talked to somebody that's there in Denver, and this area at that time was there. These stores were not in business. They were not working. Men's Warehouse was, but the stores that are back in this direction were not doing any business. Okay. All right. Now then, why is it important? It is important because if we go back to the affidavit, sorry, excuse my language. The morning, okay. So the morning of the 10th, which is the day that Suzanne is reported missing. This is the day that Barry is supposedly in Broomfield. He's calling Jeff Puckett and Morgan Gentile to come and do the job there for him, to be ready to go to work on Monday morning. He told the police that he told Suzanne that he was there to prepare for the work that would be going on Monday morning. He also lied to the cops and said that he was at the wall when he was talking to the neighbor, and that's why he couldn't talk to the cops. That's why the neighbor had to call the cops. So the morning of the 10th, there's a lot of funny business. There's a lot of misinformation coming from Mr. Morphew. Okay. Now, the 9th is a special day all by itself, and the 8th is a special day all by itself. So we're going to focus on this video only on the 10th, the day that she's actually reported missing. On May the 10th, Barry's phone wakes up at 3:56 a.m. Okay. And from 3:25 a.m., this is very confusing to me, but from 3:25 a.m. to 3:48 p.m., the Ford F-350, his truck, is not going anywhere. The GPS shows that the truck is staying right where it is, but the doors are opening and closing. He's very active at 3:30 a.m. So why did his phone come on at 3:56 if at 3:25 he's already running around his truck outside doing things, right? The detective Hoyland said that there were 80 truck events. The F-350, there were 80, that's 80 events between 3:25 a.m. and 3:48, which is only 20 minutes. I mean, if people are going to hold me to the minute, it's 23 minutes, okay? You get 80 different events. So the reason that I'm pointing this out is this. A.K. Rocks and Martin Smallwood have gone over the discovery with a fine-tooth comb, and they have triple checked every location, every timestamp, anything that was actual fact and could be verified. They have double and triple checked it. And they have identified some very strange anomalies, like this F350 truck that has 80 different events recorded in just 23 minutes. Apparently, one of the special features to Barry Morphew's F350 is that it can teleport. It can magically travel from Broomfield back to Chaffee County within a minute or two. It's the damnedest thing you've ever seen. And there's a bit of mystery as to why it got reported that way. Like, who did it? Was it the sheriff's department? Was it the lovely flower Iris Eton? Nobody knows. It's a mystery, but they're trying to find out. So the truck itself is very interesting when you look at the cross section between the truck and the phone, which is what they're doing. Okay, that's why it sometimes seems confusing, but they're looking at they're taking information from multiple places, and then they're laying it on top of each other to try to give a complete picture of what exactly was Barry doing during these periods of time. So that leads us then to this Broomfield issue. And I know I'm going over, I'm ignoring the texting and the phone calls and Holiday Inn and the pictures. I don't want to focus on that. I told y'all when I'm doing this, I'm just looking at very specific things to try to make the problem clearer. Okay. So that leads us now to this problem, not of, Barry being at the McDonald's or being at the First National Bank, but to actually look at Barry and his fashion focus that occurred on May the 10th. I mean, usually Barry's type of fashion is to be wearing blood-stained clothing. And he wears blood-stained clothing because he's a hunter. So he goes around and he usually has like chipmunk guts and things like that. And it doesn't really bother him very much because he's an outdoorsy kind of guy. In fact, we do know he did tell the police that the reason that he was stalking his wife and her best friend Sheila was because he was returning from a hunting trip and he was just so smelly and gross that he was embarrassed for Sheila to see him in that condition. So he was going to try to sneak in with nobody to see him. So Barry's got an unusual fashion sense, okay, but he goes along with his lifestyle. He's a killer, all right? So for some reason on Mother's Day, on the day that he leaves his wife, the mother of his children, to go and do an imaginary job for which he does not have a Colorado business license at the time, and he doesn't have any workers, and there's no supplies, and he doesn't have the correct tools, but he is very focused on his appearance. Fashion was big on Barry's mind on May the 10th. So one of the important things that Barry did, besides be at the Holiday Inn and the McDonald's and all these other places, was to go to what I've just shown you, which was this Men's Warehouse in this otherwise deserted strip mall type of shopping center, right? He was there. This was one of the longest parked times that he had that day, other than being at the hotel. He was there from 10:47 a.m. to 11:18. Now, Anne is going to tell us, is that 31 minutes in or is that 45 minutes? What does that tell you, Anne? 30 minutes or 45 minutes? I'm telling you right now, Phoebe. Yeah, I know there's some discrepancy, and I don't know where that discrepancy is originating. Like, I don't know who is saying that it was 45 minutes. But I can hold on just a minute and I will let me present this just a second. Okay, this is the affidavit here. I know it's small. Sorry, everything got screwed up when I updated some software. I'm going to have to go back and reset everything. So I apologize. So this is the Morphew affidavit. Oh, by the way, there's a good picture. Hold on, where'd it go? There. What do you see right there? What'd you see? That would be the torso, the headless body of one Barry Morphew, carrying in a large file, or it may not be a file. It may be a 3-ring binder. It may be a spiral notebook that has papers all shoved down in it. It looks kind of like a binder to me. But that would be him not carrying in documents. And Gruesing said, "Now, Barry, are you sure you did not take any documents into the hotel room? Are you sure about that?" "Oh yeah, no documents. Nope, not me. But let me tell you something, Agent Gruesing. There was people in my hotel room after me. If you found any documents, you better look at them, because it wasn't me, not old Dark Bark. Nope, not me. I didn't take any papers in there." That's really odd, Barry, because this comes from the hotel security system. And they got multiple pictures of you with your big file full of non-documents. All right. So that was, somebody questioned me, sent me a nasty little comment, said, "You're the only one saying that Barry lied about having documents." Well, this is the affidavit. All right. So, oh, look, it's Barry. And he's got what? Shovels. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? All right, here we go. Get back to my, where is my May the 10th? I hate when this is such a long document and it's not searchable. Going the wrong way. Okay, so talk among yourselves. Let me find there it is right there. Okay. So we can see right here, 10:47 a.m. to 11:18 a.m., the location of Barry's phone is in or beside the lot of Men's Warehouse. So this is very interesting. This right here is super interesting to me. Barry's phone was in or beside the lot of Men's Warehouse. And I want to know if he actually went into Men's Warehouse. But just because Barry did not go himself into the warehouse, the store, did he meet someone there? Was there someone that was there that maybe he met up with, that they themselves could have gone into Men's Warehouse and purchased something like new boots, new shirts, new breeches? Is that possible? Okay. And we don't know this because the prosecution does not have to put all of their evidence into the preliminary here, in the preliminary hearing or the arrest affidavit. They only have to put just enough that they believe will convince the judge or the grand jury of that there is, proof evident, presumption great that this guy is probably the guy that did it. But there's always more evidence that's held back. There's always surprises that come out during the trial. For example, in Gannon Stout's case, no one ever knew that this incredibly criminally insane woman, Letitia Stout, gave Gannon a high dose of hydrocodone. I mean, she tried to kill this child 3 or 4 different ways. So we were not aware. We did not know about the hydrocodone. There were other things we didn't know about as well, but that too, Barry Morphew. So it's going to be very interesting if we are ever to get to a trial. It'll be very interesting to see if Barry did in fact go into the Men's Warehouse, or did it appear that perhaps someone came up and spoke to him? Did someone meet him and get into the truck with him? We don't know. We don't know the answer to that. But according to the arrest affidavit, here's what it looks like. From 10:47 a.m. to 11:18, which is what? 31 minutes, right? The location of Barry's phone was in or beside the parking lot of the Men's Warehouse. So my hope is, because the way that's said is kind of odd, right? My hope is that he actually did enter the store. Now they get more specific by saying that from 10:50. So that's 3 minutes after he parks. He enters the parking lot at 10:47. He's got to get parked. Takes him 3 minutes to get parked. No, you just pull in and you pull into a parking spot, right? So why did he wait 3 minutes before he opened his door? What's he doing? Was he waiting on someone? Nevertheless, maybe he was checking his phone. Maybe he was communicating with someone. But from 10:50 to 11:17, which is 1 minute before he leaves the parking lot, 1 minute before he leaves the parking lot, from 10:50 to 11:17, his door is opening and the passenger doors, doors plural, are being opened and closed at least 7 times. Come on, Barry. That's a whole lot of opening and closing doors for one man to do. What were you doing? Tell us the truth. We're curious, Barry. So we don't know what he was doing. Those of us with active imaginations that tend toward wild speculation, we kind of have a little idea what may have been going on. Now, Barry, by his own admission, Barry doesn't exactly keep a clean, truck, right? Doesn't exactly keep it. He's a messy guy, messy Barry, right? He has a little bit of hoarding tendencies. TikTok Barry. Okay. He's a little messy. He admits it. Now, I had heard that, but then when I saw the photographs of the inside of his truck, I was like, whoa, Barry, that's not messy, buddy. That's disgusting. That's hoarding, right? I mean, the trash that's on the floor in his truck, it would have been like up to your knees if you had been trying to sit there. The dirt was the whole thing is just covered in dirt. And I know it's a work truck, but come on, What was your inspiration, Barry? Just tell us. What was your inspiration that on Mother's Day, the day that you choose to not spend it with the wife, your wife, the mother of your children, what was the inspiration that day that you thought, you know what, I am going to clean out my truck? Barry, your truck hadn't been cleaned in 3 damn years. That's it, the evidence says, you know what, that truck has not been cleaned in 3 years. But magically, somehow, on the morning of May the 10th, not only did you suddenly begin to be aware of your personal appearance and you were striving to do better. You went and got new clothes, allegedly. You went back to the hotel and you were so excited, like a little child. You were so excited about your new clothes. You changed clothes how many times, Barry? I know you were excited about those new clothes, weren't you? You were like, man, I am looking good today. Gonna change my clothes again so I can look good. All right. So Barry had some very strange changes in behavior that day that are curious. You know, he suddenly became aware of fashion. He changed his clothes multiple times, and there's evidence of that because the security camera caught it all. You could see him coming into his room and leaving his room, waiting at the elevator, and he was always wearing different clothes, different shirts, different boots. It was amazing, actually. But he also, suddenly decided he was going to clean up his act and not be such a, dirty birdie. That he was going to clean out his truck and make it look presentable, make it look nice. In fact, there was so much junk in this man's work truck that he had to dump stuff 5 times. Oh, by the way, he denied that. He denied that he threw anything away at the Holiday Inn. No, what, me? I didn't go to the dumpster. What? Okay. So Barry Morphew does not seem like hyper tidy nor well organized person. His zeal to unload all that trash does not fit or make sense. It is out of his character. I'm telling you, keep trying. It's very interesting. Just these very boring daily drudgery of living activities. He magically was inspired to do better. He was cleaning up his act, damn it. He was getting his truck cleaned out. He was buying some new clothes so he could look good. It's amazing, actually. I don't know what happened. Something magical about Mother's Day, the one day that he chooses to leave the wife that he shares a steak with on a single plate, the mother of his 2 adorable, delightful children, and he chooses instead to go to Broomfield and to refashion himself a new man. That's him. All right. So, and then the arrest affidavit proceeds on to at 11:23, which is 40 minutes after he first arrives at the Men's Warehouse. So at 11:23, at 11:18, he's leaving the parking lot of the Men's Warehouse. It takes them 4 or 5 minutes to get back over to the Holiday Inn Express. That's 11:23, 39, 40 minutes. So I don't know why people are frantically sending me messages that other creators are saying that it was 45 minutes. I don't know. But at 11:36, Barry's on camera in the hotel lobby wearing a black t-shirt, carrying under his left arm the non-existence of the black binder in no disorganized papers, but it got caught on camera. So I don't know. Is it God again? Did God make that happen? I don't know. You tell me. So it wasn't 45 minutes. It was 31 minutes that he was in the parking lot itself. And then it was a little bit less than that. It was 28 to 29 minutes. He's opening and closing the doors 7 times. So why? So there's the driver's side, and then there's the passenger side, that's 2, and then there's the back right side, back left side. He went to each of the doors twice. What was that about? What was happening there? There he is, not with a binder. Barry, come on, man. Just come clean. Just do the right thing. Just for once in your life, take responsibility. This is not a car wreck that your sister can take responsibility for. Just do the right thing. You lied so much. There's things, it's just awful. 11:57 to 12:25, he is supposedly at the work site. So to get you back off of that 45 minutes, at 10:47, pulling into the men's warehouse, here it is right here. 1 hour later, he's gone into his hotel, come back out, and now he's supposedly at the work site. He was not at the men's warehouse 45 minutes. He was there 31 minutes. And then I'm going to quit right there. Now, well, this is a little interesting. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. So we looked at in that 29 minutes that Barry opened and closed the 4 doors of the truck twice each, except for the driver's side, right? So twice each. So that total 7 total times. It's very curious. That is some speculation on my part that he would open each door twice, except for the driver's side. I mean, but it's even worse. I mean, that's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario would be if he opened his door and the passenger door like 3 times each. That would be even worse. So something strange happened there. Him running frantically around his truck. Or, gosh, I just thought of something else, Barry. Was somebody getting in the car with you? Like, did somebody get in the car and then y'all all sat there and talked for a while, and then after y'all finished talking, all 4 of the doors opened, or 3 of the doors opened, and the people got out to leave? Is that what happened, Barry? I don't know. Let's think about that for a second, people. There's 4 doors. Is that right? There's 4 doors on a truck. And if you pull up into a parking lot, you've got 3 friends waiting for you, and they get in the car with you. I don't know, maybe you get out, you go over, shake their hand. Hey, what's going on? Come on, let's talk in the truck. Then you get back into the driver's side, and you never shut your door. So that's 1 door shutting. Your friends each get into their seat. That's 3 of the doors opening and closing. So you got 4 people sitting in the truck talking and visiting about vacation and snow skiing and fun stuff. And then after you get finished talking, then you say, okay, well, I got to go to work. It was so great to see you guys. Thanks for buying me clothes. And the other 3 people then open their doors and close their doors to go get in their vehicle. How many times is that a door opening and closing? Oh, it's 7, isn't it? Wow. Weird. Strange, Barry. Inquiring minds want to know. All right. So, snarkiness aside, something strange about the doors opening and closing 7 times, and it does magically fit with my wild speculation that perhaps there were 3 people there that had purchased clothing, new clothes for this man who is improving his life, and they all get in the car together and visit, and then they get out and leave, and you've now opened and closed the car doors 7 times. All right? In a way that doesn't look frantic and weird. So at from 12:28 to 12:29. Now remember, an hour ago in the men's warehouse parking lot, 1 hour ago, Barry has been opening and closing doors for seven times. Okay. Now he's in the parking lot at the Holiday Inn Express from 12:28 to 12:29, 60 seconds. He's now opening and closing his door again, over and over and over. This is a busy guy, y'all. What was he doing? Very strange. At 12:36, he arrived at the hotel parking lot, got out of the truck, carried 1 white trash bag, larger in size than the previous bags. He carried a black container along with a green item, possibly a piece of clothing. All right, so I'm going to stop there. Otherwise, we run the risk of getting confusing in your head because this is so much information. As a side note, when Guru Singh was questioning Barry and was saying, what did you take into the hotel? He said, just my backpack. And they said, are you sure? Because it seems like there was some other stuff. No, it's just my backpack. Well, somebody thought they might have seen some documents. Oh, well, that was someone that came in the room after me. It certainly wasn't me. And so now on April 22nd, just, weeks after Suzanne has gone missing, Guru Singh then pulls out these pictures and says, but Barry, what is that? And so what does Barry say? Does Barry say, oh, I forgot? Barry just says, oh, well, I just couldn't recall. I don't know. And I did not throw anything away at the Holiday Inn. I don't know what I would have thrown away. I don't know. Don't know. Strange, right? All right. So I'm gonna end it. I'm not going to present any more new information here. Remember, I'm doing these little small focuses of very specific moments in the arrest affidavit and discovery so that it gels in your mind and it's something that's easily recalled. It's so much that when you keep going, you get lost. It's like you can't see the forest for the trees kind of phenomenon. Okay. He got no work done on Mother's Day. Agreed, James Wood. Welcome, the James Wood. The guy who helped him with criminal fingerprints found in the car. I also heard the company he worked for does not approve work on Sunday. Actually, the state of Colorado did not approve work on Sunday. There was another problem, Ruth, that was very important as well that doesn't really get very much attention. But Barry did not have the proper business licenses to even be operating in Colorado. And now his business licenses were expensive. We're talking in the tens of thousands. I don't know if that was with fines that were accrued. I don't know that, but I know that as soon as he was able to get his hands on some money, that's the very first thing he did was to pay his business license. It's very strange. He paid his business license. He paid Gene Mormon back the $100,000 that he took from them to pay for this house. That was crazy. Why, Barry? Like this inspiration that this guy got, the massive out of character things that he did in the days before the 10th. you need to ask this question. It's important to know why these big changes happen. Do they mean anything on their own? No, they don't. But when you look at the sum total tells you that something dramatic happened in his life that brought about more inspiration to clean up his act. It was almost like he knew that there would be people going through his truck. It was almost like he knew there would be people that would be looking at his activities and his behaviors. Why? Why is it suddenly that he didn't want to look like he owed the Mormon family any cash? Was he anticipating being under investigation? This was before she was even like reported missing. Think about that. The spy pen the spy pen is recording these arguments, and they're all about money. They're always Barry and Suzanne are always fighting about money, right? That's the focus here. Always about money. And yet, magically, he calls Gene Mormon angrily to say, you just need to tell Andy, you need to tell your sons that I paid back the money, that you got your money. And you're like, gosh, that is so strange, Barry. Like, why did you pay the money back exactly the day before your wife goes missing? Like, why'd you do that? That's weird. Weird timing, Barry. Okay. He was James Wood. Yeah, absolutely. Find other dead body. Are you saying that they have found another dead body in, I guess, Sawatch? Barry killed the person that helped him dispose of his wife, most likely. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. I know that the business records, the court cases, this guy's got a ton of court cases. Like, it is it's very strange. The only person with more court cases than Barry Morphew may be Donald Trump. All right. That being a bit facetious. There's a lot. There's a lot of legal activity. He's a bit litigious. Others against him. But so it's a little, it's a little odd, but I think it's interesting that there's so much disagreement around Barry, either people disagreeing with Barry or Barry disagreeing with other people. Those are McDonald's receipts. You think those are McDonald's receipts coming out of the binder? That is a whole lot of Big Macs. And you know what Barry said? Oh, shucks. I like to eat clean. Me and my brother Chris Watts. We like to eat clean. We don't eat trash food like McDonald's. So I thought, hey, I'll just pull in over here and stick my hand down in the trash can, and then I'll use that same hand to eat a Big Mac. And then I decided, after I stuck my hand down in the trash can, I said, you know what? I am not going to lower myself to eat a Big Mac. I am going to eat me a healthy granola bar, because that is what me and my little chipmunk friends love the most, is granola. Right, Barry? That's kind of how it went, I think. Okay. Not scary at all for the hotel staff. Read all my posts when you get time. I shall, Mr. Wood. Hold on just a second. I'll go back up here. No, he got no work done on Mother's Day. Okay. Whoops. What did I do? Barry probably hired a rape. Oh, control the voice. Barry hired a bad man to help his wife, to do away with his wife. Then this is allegedly, I'm not saying this. Barry's an innocent man, I tell you. He is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law by a jury of his peers. He is innocent. Barry killed the guy. There are more bodies, in my opinion. Y'all hear that? This is only an opinion. This is fiction. This is a guy using his imagination, nothing more. The guy who helped him were the fingerprints found in the car. I also heard the company he worked for does not approve work on Sunday. He got no work done on Mother's Day except to hide evidence. Find other dead body. Barry killed more people. Allegedly, no, we don't have any idea that that's true. Barry is going broke. And then he killed the person that helped him dispose of the body. They need to look hard. Oh, that's deep, James. I will have to wonder what thinking now about the younger one. Not scary for hotel staff. Read all my posts. Okay, criminality. Welcome. Keep getting details of Morphew and Rogers cases mixed up in my head. Need new notebooks. Are you talking about Crystal Rogers? Hauk? Well, I don't know how you pronounce that dude's name. Of course, our channel is the one that started the whole wild speculation Friday. Okay, so yes, we do wild speculation, but always based on fact, right? Like we talk about the facts and then we talk about the possibilities. Like, what are these facts indicating or suggesting? Like, was Barry in the parking lot for 29 minutes, frantically going from door to door, opening and closing 7 different times? Or was it that Barry just met up with 3 other people, got out of his truck, shook hands, then they all got in the truck, they sat there and talked for 20 minutes or so, and then the 3 people opened their doors and got out, and that would account for 7 times the doors opened and closed. So we don't know which of those 2 scenarios it is, but what we do in fact know is that the doors were opened and closed at least 7 times in the 29 minutes that he's sitting in the parking lot. All right, so that's very interesting. Barry was very jealous of the family dynamics. He had never had that. Then he had an idea. I don't know, Caspi. I think he's the golden boy. He's the golden child in his family. According to, be very clear here. I'm basing that information on Chris McDonough and his wife went to Indiana and they questioned friends of Barry, classmates of Suzanne and Barry, family members, and they put out several videos. This was years ago. Put out several videos, kind of giving us some insight into what Barry's childhood, his early years, even like later on as a young man married to Suzanne. And we kind of got a little bit of insight based on how Chris McDonough reported it on the evidence room, right? So that does give us some background and information on this guy. So I think that my takeaway, the impression that I got from the way that it was reported by Chris McDonough, is that Barry was kind of the golden child who could do no wrong. That he was really his dad was really motivated, kind of living vicariously through Barry and his athletic skill. That his father had a great disappointment in his own life, not achieving his own dreams, and he was left a bit bitter. And that Barry was sort of seen as like the second chance at the family being special somehow, right? Again, I was not there. I haven't talked to the people. I'm going by what the reporting of someone else who was legitimately there and had no, as far as I can tell, had no reason to mislead anybody. So I think he was the golden boy. One of the examples that was given was this car wreck that Barry was driving. There was a fender bender, and rather than Barry getting in trouble, messing up his athletic career somehow, that the sister jumped into the driver's seat and Barry was in the passenger seat, and the sister took the ticket and the trouble for the wreck. So interesting, right? Um, no, Gregory, we do not know that information. The arrest affidavit, the discovery information tells us that the doors were opened and closed at least, this is the verbiage, at least 7 times. So that would be something that we would find out in the actual court case. So had it gone to trial, then they probably have video that would have told us, was this him running about the truck going in and out of these the doors, or was it actually more of a kind of a more normal, well, I hate to use the word normal, but less frenetic episode where really it was 3 people that got in the truck with him. They talked for a little while, then they got out, and that would account for 7 times, right? Being proclaimed the golden boy isn't realistic. Yeah, I think, and Scott Peterson, absolutely. Scott Peterson was the quintessential example of the golden child. And I'm going to tell you this too. I think Chris Watts was the golden child in his own family. He even talked about his sister, having, she was kind of chaotic. She was a free spirit kind of, person. And he was always very predictable, and he was compliant, and he did what his mom told him to do. So I think he was probably the golden boy too. Absolutely, Gregory. Yep. So I don't know if you've noticed or not, but the information coming out of Colorado about this case has gotten pretty quiet now, right? They announced that they found her. The only information that we really got was because a very industrious reporter said, "Hey, these people online are saying it's Highway 17. Let's go down there and check it out." And we went live. Was it the day they found her, or was it the morning after they found her? I'd have to go back and look at my videos. And we thought that it was mile marker 93. That was our first choice that we thought, yeah, I think it's 93 based on like the horizon, what it looked like. And AK Rocks had gotten an indication that was somewhere along that area. And there was another person that said that it would be north of, that they were saying that it was south of town, but that really they think it was north of town. So that was kind of where I was at. I thought this has got to be 93. I know that the media is reporting south of town, but I trust AK Rocks implicitly. And then this other group said, no, it was north. So that would have really made it 93 right by the double A road. And then our second location, we then moved south, and that was mile marker 103. We did also look a mile or 2 miles further down from that, but ultimately it was 103 that was correct. And I think because we were already talking about that, I think that reporter said, let's go down to Highway 17 and see what we can find. And they found the crime scene tape. So it was really, It's good. Yeah. Um, nephew. Hope law enforcement did due diligence and got cell phone data. Um, well, I don't know. Again, here's what's so hard to remember, and this is happening in the Brian Koberger situation too, the murder of the four college students in Idaho. We have to accept, and this is where a lot of us true crime commentators or people, creators, whatever you want to call us, we have to remember, and this is where we fall down on the job. We don't know what the investigators know. We don't. And what ends up happening is the prosecutor's office, they put out just the barest minimal amount of information needed to get the arrest. That's it. And if they think that the guy is dangerous, the person they've arrested, if they think they're dangerous, then they're going to put out a little additional information to try to get a really high bond, right? So then we, the true crime people, we kind of take off. It's like you're, at a horse race, and you start digging into these arrest affidavits, or you start going through the preliminary hearings, and what was said there. And then we start all the speculation, and we start trying to figure out, well, could it be this or could it be that? But here's the next step that I think is where we don't do a good job. We don't do a very good job sitting back and saying, you know what, this is only a fraction of what the cops know. What they have let us see is but just a raindrop compared to the whole ocean of information that they have actually collected, what they know. So, I always try to be really careful about that I don't let myself get trapped into this idea that this is all they have. Because I think that's one of the things that's throwing some people off of the Brian Koberger thing is there's a lot of people that have made some really good arguments that Brian Koberger may not be the guy. Brian Koberger may be a patsy. He may have been framed to take the fall for this, but you're only going there based on what the information is that's been put out. There's more information. There's no way that they would be proceeding forward in the death of 4 college students if they didn't have more information. And they do seem to be really confident that this is the guy. So, but we have to be careful because there are some unscrupulous law enforcement. There are some unscrupulous prosecutors. I know, I don't need to be lectured. But I also, I'm a blue line kind of person. I support the police. And until you show me that you are not to be trusted, I trust, there's really no other healthier way to go forward than that. Look for burner phone data from cell towers. Look for animals in their homes and dig up those in the area to see if they got clothing or other items used to possibly wrap up a body. Maybe DNA evidence could be preserved. I really think he had help. Speaking on, Barry Morphew. I get it, James. I don't think you're alone. That a lot of people that know this, they know this data, this information very well. Well, for example, AK Rocks and Martin Smallwood, they're like encyclopedias on this case, right? They've done all the work on it. They're the go-to people for factual information. There are people that have really gotten into this case and they have an impressive amount of knowledge about it and about the area. AK was there. He was going into mines every weekend. he was walking riverbeds. He was there. He, not only does he have like the knowledge related to the discovery information, but this is his stomping grounds. Like this is he has a innate understanding of the people there and how they operate, and he knows Barry. So there are a lot of people that know the case and they know the location, and they don't believe that he was able to pull this off by himself. If in fact he's the one that did it, Barry Morphew is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law by a jury of his peers. He is innocent right now. This guy Barry planned this. There are some people that think that this was planned maybe a year of planning, and it could have been one of those situations where you're planning it but you never know when the actual time is right. You're not sure that this is what you want to do, but you're planning it anyway, and then the right set of circumstances can kind of flip that switch. Do we know if Barry's mom, nephew, and girlfriend were ever interviewed? They were interviewed. Maybe they have video or data from other phones pinging off towers that could find the truth. Here's one of the problems with that. This is an area that you have zero cell phone service. You have these little pockets that you can drive through, right? And for the house, where the house is actually located, there is no cell phone service there. The only way, if you're at their house or where the house they used to own, if you're there, you have to be hooked up to the satellite in order to have cell service. So that no, there's not a lot of towers to ping off of. Yeah, I think money, real angel girl. I think money was a big part of this. I think knowledge came into play. Like what did Suzanne know? I think there were multiple reasons. Yeah, Shoshona retrieved a package. she So she was charged with trespassing. She ran down. Okay, so they were staying at a house nearby, and she trespassed and ran down to the porch, took this package off of the previously Morphew home, took the package, and then ran off, right? It's kind of funny. Like she looks really intense, like, ooh, game face on, right? She's like on a secret reconnaissance mission. I believe if my memory is right, please don't quote me on this because I'm going strictly by memory. I think she claimed that it was some kind of supplement. Does anybody remember that? Was it some kind of protein mixture, like bodybuilding mixture or something? Is that what it was? No, it was open, Jay. Yeah, he got so much work done on Mother's Day. He was a busy little beaver, though, James. He was very busy. Okay, crime sleuthing. It's really good to see you, girlie. All right. So yeah, I think it was, if my memory serves me well, it was some kind of supplement. But I'm thinking it was like a protein mixture, something like that. I don't know why it was so important. I don't know why it got sent to that house. I don't know. but that was the story that was told, right? That's the story that was told. No, I don't think he worked on the. In fact, I think he lied about the work. He claimed that he was working at the wall, but he wasn't there when he said he was there. The GPS shows that he wasn't there. What do you think about the investment guy that Barry would deal with? Suzanne questioned where the money was going. Is that the silver broker, WD-40? I don't, I don't, yeah, I don't know about that. I know there was, she really made fun of him about his silver investments. Silver is a crazy thing. Now I will say, I will tell you this. So silver and gold become very important to preppers, right? To militia type people, who have this belief that the government is against them, and that we are headed for a period of time where we're going to be thrown back into the days of the Civil War, the American Revolution, and we'll be fighting against this nefarious, I don't know, world domination thing. Okay. So you do see these people that are, they're Americans. I mean, they love their country, and they're worried and scared, but sometimes it gets a little big. But I will say this, that some of the arrest and sentencing that has gone on really makes you think they may not be as crazy as what people try to make them seem like, because it's kind of disconcerting the way some of these American citizens have been treated. But that's a different story. But among that group, silver is really important as an investment vehicle. So is gold, but silver is a bit different. And the reason being because they invest in silver, because silver is something that you could use in a barter system, right? It's smaller coins, smaller amounts of value that make it you could buy chickens or milk or whatever, as opposed to gold, where even a gram of gold is, very, very valuable. So it's interesting. This is an area that is very, very active in terms of militia, ex-military getting together and practicing on the weekend, camping, that type of survivalist lifestyle and whatnot. So it's an area that isn't out of the realm of possibility. In fact, I have a video, some pictures of a guy in Salida who is marching up and down the sidewalk, and he's got an American flag that is, black and white American flag that's hung upside down, which is the sign for a nation in distress. And he's all fully decked out, in his fatigues and military gear. So it is an area where the militia is active. So his investment in silver is kind of interesting, isn't it? And it comes from an area where, the Odinism has been recently had its spotlight shown on it, that a lot of these prepper type people are they kind of like that type of, romantic military type lifestyle idea, I guess you could say. Follow the money. Sure, WD. I would agree with that. He probably met and hired him, promised a large amount of cash. Once she was gone, buried the man. I don't know, James. It's really hard for me to get to that level. I mean, I like wild speculation. I try to do it based on facts and really do it in terms of what are the possibilities. And when you get into that level, it's just, where are the facts that show that? Like, where are the facts? I don't know. But I do think there's plenty of facts that, Barry was inspired to clean up his act and change starting on about the 8th, and his wife is gone. What I think, well, let's just go by the discovery. His wife was reported missing on the 10th. Okay. So why did he suddenly get this big motivation the night of the 8th to start cleaning up his act? That's that's based on fact. That's not crazy. That's the kind of thing a jury member would say to themselves. That's kind of what people would say in a jury deliberation room. It'd be like, wait a minute, does anybody else think that this is odd? That the guy's truck is filthy right up until the day before his or the morning that his wife is going to be reported missing, and suddenly he cleans his truck out to the point that he goes to 5 different dumpsters and then denies that he cleans his truck out. What's that about? Is that, does anybody else think that's weird? Because that's what I would say if I was in jury deliberations. Don't know, Angel Girl. Don't know. Don't know where her phone is. There you go, James Wood. There you go. That's what we call premeditation, right? It's also what you do if you want to leave breadcrumbs to promote, reasonable doubt, isn't it? He's odorism. He claimed his by his own words, Brent. By his own words, he said he was so stinky and smelly that he did not want to go in the house. He said that. Okay, so that is what he did. He thought things. He thought most things through. Okay, you're kind of asking something that's a little. Okay, let me be very clear here. No, I think something changed in Indiana, and he went from being orderly and um, thoughtful and rational. Something changed, and he became very chaotic and irrational. Right? No, I'm not going to speculate on what that was. I have no idea. Other people have had thoughts about it, but I'm not. I don't have any. There's no facts to tell me what it could have been, so I'm not going there. But obviously you can look at the building of companies and then the breakdown of companies, and then all kind of happened in this short period of time, and then boom, they up and get money from friends to buy a $2 million house. It's very strange, but nevertheless, that's how it played out. So would I say that he is an orderly, you know, um, methodical, linear thinker? Definitely not. I think it's the exact opposite. I think his actions in Colorado reflect quite irrational, reactive behavior, not well thought out, planned behavior. However, here's the caveat: he is a hunter and a tracker. And a tracker is methodical, and a tracker knows how to work a problem backwards, right? So, to start at the destination where you want people to end up, and then to walk it backwards and leave little tips and pieces of evidence that would lead them there. So I think his knowledge of animal behavior, how to track an animal at certain times, I think all that would play into his ability maybe to do some of the things I think he did. Um, but no, I think something went wrong 3 years before in Indiana. Something happened that threw him, it totally changed him. I have no idea what it would be. Yeah, walking into the hotel, and 20 minutes later he walks out in that brand new shirt, right? And then he changes again. That wasn't it. That wasn't the only time. Lucky. Yeah, James. Oh no, Ruth. No, you're right. Ruth said, does Barry put an ornament on Suzanne's memorial tree every year? Absolutely not. No. No, does not go to any of the remembrances. So just had a garage sale with all of her things. Like he couldn't wait to get rid of her things. No. This no. Mm-mm. No, the her friends have been the ones that have been committed to her and seeing this thing through. Her friends have been more like a loved one, a family member, than her own husband. You know what, Angel Girl and James, if if all the situation was the same, my husband gone missing, blah blah blah, everything was the same. 3 years later, they come out on TV and they said, we found the body and we tested it, and it is, in fact, your husband. Nothing could stop me from saying, where did this happen? I'm going. Nothing would stop me from being there and putting my eyes on it. Nothing. I would have been there. I would have looked at everything. I would have been around town, kind of looking at everything around town, trying to get a handle on things, walking the area, looking for even the tiniest little, piece of glass or anything. Nothing would stop me. Nothing. Yeah, nothing. Absolute. I agree with you. Full hearted. Nothing would stop me. Nothing. Look, I don't mind saying this. And I told my husband, I said, this is so weird. Like, this is so strange for me. But we went, I've been there several times, but I think it was, no, because there was no snow on the ground. Well, it must have been May. Anyway, I was there in Salida maybe 6 months after she went missing, something like that. And so, I said, I know you're in a hurry to get where we're going, but can we, just kind of go down there? I just want to see like the location of where the bicycle was, and it'll help me, my commentary on the channel and all that. Let me just go look. He was like, okay, that's fine. I don't care. So we went down there, and he stayed in the car. We didn't stay a long time. I didn't like take photographs and, do all that. But I got out and I walked over to the edge to kind of look down to, see the reality of this whole bicycle thing and everything. Because there's nothing, I can't imagine anything worse, believing that someone hurt their loved one. Like, that's the worst, right? And I'm always like, I don't want to point the finger. Like, unless I'm absolutely certain, and at that time I really wasn't. I really didn't, know. Um, but then I saw the hill, and you know, I thought, how did she, even if she's on the bicycle coming down and the bike's out of control, how did a car run around? In no way could I come up with a scenario where this bicycle would head straight down the hill in that particular location. Let me say it a different way. There would have been no way for an out of control bicycle to head straight down the hill, right? There's just no way it would have happened. It would have been intentional. Otherwise, you would be on a diagonal. The width of the road is not very wide. You've got this big hill directly on the other side of it. So just couldn't happen. It just couldn't. So the other thing that really, I was the little statue was down there. And I really got sad. I got really, really sad in that moment looking, because she was just abandoned, she just She was just abandoned. And even, even though I knew, like, as I'm standing there and I'm looking and I'm like, this is not, she was never here, right? There's the little angel and she was never there. I don't believe that. I think that's all props. I think that was all placed there to send this message of, oh, somehow this is a holy place. I don't believe that. It was props. So, but even though there's something about being there, it sort of stands as testament to the fact that this woman who had survived cancer and had been able to have these two babies when the doctor said she would never be able to have children, and it just stands as like this testament, this symbol of this person who was just abandoned. She was just totally discarded in the purest sense of the word. She was thrown away. She was disregarded. It was like, okay, we deem you unfit to live, and we don't care. It doesn't bother us that you don't live. We don't care that you're not here anymore. So what? It was that thought that went through my mind as I was looking at this area. And I did cry. I wasn't like sobbing and freaking out, but yeah, it was a really deep sense of sadness that I still get, that you have her friends that were so committed to her. There were community members that lived nearby that were just 100% dedicated to the truth about what happened to Suzanne. They were terrified of Barry Morphew living in the neighborhood. And the reason that I know that is because some of them actually got restraining orders against this guy. And it was, to me, it was the most egregious act that the judge did, which was not only to just let him out, but to allow him to move back to that neighborhood in a rent house was egregious. Egregious. And Shoho had a house right in the middle of Salida where his ankle monitor would have worked. But for some crazy reason, that judge said, no, it's perfectly fine for you to go back out there, live among the people that have all said, we think Barry did it, and your ankle monitor will not work. But sure, go right on out there, and you and Shoho both live out there. Shoho had a house in town. So crazy. I don't know how you get around the idea of corruption if that one fact alone doesn't just knock you off your feet. So that was pretty sad for me to stand there and have this realization that the people that she trusted, the people that she trusted to love her and care for her, walked away. And that the people that saw it through were well, AK Martin came on a little bit later, but her friends, when they did the preliminary hearing, those ladies were at that courthouse at like 3:00 in the morning waiting in line to go in, because they were only going to have like 10 available seats for the general public. They got up and they went there early morning. Before, I mean, it was dark. The stars were out. We're sitting out there in front of the courthouse. So it's really tragic, terrible tale. Go to the dump site, spend a month or two digging through trash. Evidence will probably be discovered. Possibly, most likely use someone he hired to use a vehicle to distance his vehicle from the crime. Yeah, he knew a lot of people. He knows a lot of people there. There's a lot of people that sort of scattered to the wind too after it happened. One guy, not going to use names or anything, but one guy left Nobody knew where he was. And he just point blank came out and said on the telephone, I don't want to be found. I'm afraid of Barry Morphew. Morgan Gentile, she said with a camera rolling, I'm scared of Barry. And I'm going to say it again, none of that means that he did it. It doesn't. There's plenty of people that have bad reputations for having a bad temper or whatever that don't go and kill their wives. So Barry Morphew is innocent right now, as innocent as I am. He is innocent until he is proven guilty in a court of law by a jury of his peers. They dropped the case against him. He does not have charges against him right now. He is innocent. Yeah, WD, I've had that thought. But you have to remember too, WD, the car was a used car. It was owned before. So you don't know. But also, it wasn't anything. The DNA in the car was nothing. It just because something is a partial match, it doesn't mean it's even from the person's relative. It could just have been. It could have been considered a partial match because the DNA in the truck was like a white Caucasian, like a Caucasian male over the age of 35, and the guys that were implicated in the sex crimes were Caucasian male over the age of 35. And if that's the only match that was made, then it was a partial match, but it did not identify anyone. They look at different profiles, but they can do a panel with like 25 points. And in order for it to be a match, they have to get 25 points or 17 points, so ultimately the DNA was followed up on. The investigation, the avenues of investigation were completed and tied up, loose ends put to bed, and there was no match. It was not the sex offenders. It was not them. It's meaningless. Thank you, Gemma. What's even more interesting about the DNA in the car is the lack of DNA. That is what you ought to be discussing. What you ought to be discussing is, why is it this woman has this car for what, 3, 4, 5 years, and Barry's DNA is only in one little place? Why was there none of the daughter's DNA? Why was Suzanne's DNA seemingly gone? It's almost like somebody wiped the car down. Don't most all of us have such DNA in our vehicles? 100% keep trying. If you've taken your car to go be detailed, if you've taken your car to a mechanic shop, people are going to leave their DNA when they're working in your car. Sure, 100%. Valet parking is another one. Yep, lots of reasons. Hopefully, the daughter that encouraged Suzanne to get a restraining order will speak the truth. The girl's job is to survive and to be healthy and go on and live their lives. They cannot get stuck in this terrible moment in time. They are entitled to have a future. They're entitled to have a life. And I hope that she finishes college and she has a great career and she has a wonderful love affair and children and her life is complete. That is my wish for her. Right, James? Exactly. Why is Suzanne's card no kind of DNA anywhere, but his truck is like knee deep in filth? Yeah. Questions. All right, folks. So we did actually go really far off track. I didn't want to do this today, but it's been a wonderful conversation. I appreciate all of y'all so much in your comments, and it's good to get together and talk. The main focus, though, for this video that I think is very important, and I really, really want to hone in on this, and that is on the morning of May the 10th. before Suzanne is reported missing. He is in Broomfield and he goes to this isolated store, Men's Warehouse, where he suddenly develops an interest in fashion, because after he goes to the Men's Warehouse and stays there for 31 minutes, not 48 minutes, 31 minutes, he then proceeds to change his clothes multiple times during the day. And it's very interesting to note that between 10:50 and 11:17, he opens and closes the car doors at least 7 times. Let that sink in. So was Barry frantically going from door to door, opening and closing, doing something inside the truck, maybe cleaning things out? Or is it more likely that he drove up to meet someone, he gets out, doesn't close his door, he gets out to shake hands, and then they get in the truck with him, 3 people get in the truck with him. Now he closes his door, so that's his door's been open and closed once. The other 3 doors, they get in the truck, that's open and closed once. They talk for a little while, then they say goodbye, and those 3 people get out of the car. Now those 3 doors have been opened and closed twice. And to me, that adds up to 7. All right. Alicia Helm, thank you so much. I appreciate your kind comments. Thank you. Tessie, is really great to have you here. Thank you. Jackie Blue, every time I see you, that song goes through my mind. Yeah, it's very strange. The clothes changes, really, really odd, especially for a guy who is accustomed to walking around with chipmunk guts on him. Look at the Darley Router case. You will never stop looking. That is a tragic and strange case. I agree. Thank you, Zelda. Zelda, good to see you. Listening but unable to read chat. Need your prayers. I'm so sorry, Zelda. I wish you could find something to help you feel better. I know you are really, really suffering. So sorry. Keep trying. Thank you for being here. I appreciate all of your comments. Don't most all of us likely have DNA in our vehicles? If anybody's ever serviced our car, valet parking, millions of reasons somebody might have to be in one's car. WD-40, thank you for being here. Thanks, Diane. I appreciate it. They say that if you unsubscribe and then you subscribe again, and then when you hit the bell, you have to say all notifications. You have to say all. Okay, and then you'll start getting notifications. Thank you for being here, Gemma. I appreciate it. Gregory, it was good talking with you. Appreciate you. Real Angel Girl, thank you so much for being here. Ruth, it was great to see you. James Wood, you were awesome. Thanks so much. And Crime Sleuthin', I know she's already left, but thanks for being here. Lisa Avery, good to see you. It's nice to see you again. Hey, Brent, appreciate you too. Trying to make sure I get everybody before I say goodbye. And I think that is going to be, nope, Jay. Good to see you, Jay. Thank you for being here. Cass P, thank you for being here. Amanda Sprague, there is God's law, then man's law. So he is innocent by the birth certificate corporation. He is guilty by God. Thank you, Amanda. Ruth, let's see. Is that everybody? Rochelle, welcome. Good to see you. Saricia, very nice. Thank you for being here, Saricia. Saricia and Rochelle have been longtime friends. Nancy, you too. Thank you so much for being here. You guys were doing some serious talking. Hi, Suzanne Thompson. Alicia, thank you so much. Moonlight View, you were awesome. Tessie Cooper, thank you so much. And I think we got everybody. I said that a while ago and it turned out to not be true. Yeah, Nancy, Thank you, Moradian, for being here. Criminality, thank you so much. You're probably still not here, but thank you so much. River Queen, Maryland Pastor, Chevron Grill, thank y'all so much for being here. I think we got them all. Phoebe Beach, Mama Linds, thank you for being here. Lacey, Nancy S. Oh, Chantilly, welcome. Thank you. Trixie and .com, Kathy Wampus, Karen D. Oh my word. I'm never going to get to thank y'all. T please. Thank you so much. Kaza T, thank you. I think y'all are talking. Tiffy Richardson, lots of people. Kim Barnier, a lot of you guys I remember from like Chris Watts days. Nana Flower Power, good to see you, Nana. Thanks for being here. Kathy Meyer, thank you for being here. AJ, thank you. Sundown Farms makes me think of Faraway Downs. Bet Kells, welcome. Daisy Sunshine, my friend. Kathy R, how are you? Bernadette, welcome. Leah, welcome. Gotta almost be there. Steffi, thanks for being here. Paul Boone, thank you so much. Kaza T. Nancy, welcome. And we are done. I think that was it. All right, good deal. Hannah Bell, the girls can't help but be stuck. It was their mother. It involves their dad. Hopefully they will heal. Agreed, Hannah. Absolutely agree. Find out who the donor of that DNA. I don't know. I really kind of think the whole DNA thing was part of just the old ownership of the car. Is my thought. Those are my thoughts, right? All right. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that you enjoyed the discussion today. And I think it is important to consider that there were the doors open and closed 7 times. Something curious happened there at the store. And I can't wait for there to be a trial so we can know if it was people getting in and out or if it was one man running from door to door.
About a sharp dressed man. No watch, diamond ring. I ain't missing not a single thing. Club rings, stick in. When I step out, I'm gonna do you in. They come running just as fast as they can. Crazy about a
Alicia, thank you so much. You are a complete sweetheart. I do appreciate your help. Thank you so much. If you have not subscribed, I do shameless pandering to get you to hit the subscribe button and do the little thumbs up. And then the next time you will get notifications when I am live and we are speaking about Suzanne Morphew. All right? Yes, Whitney, welcome. I know we're ending. It's over. I'm sorry. We're listening to a little Dusty, the TV talk. It's so frustrated, Brittany. I know. But thank you, girl. Appreciate you being here. You guys need to go to Allegedly with Brittany J. Her channel is amazing. Thank you, Sugar Queen. Good to see you.
Top coat, top hat, I'm not worried 'cause my wallet's bad. Backstage, white glove.
You keep using that, Zelda. We want to see it. We want to see it. Going on a bear hunt.
Every girl crazy about a sharp dressed
And who's glad that it is Friday? If you're a fan of Friday, put a 1. Thank you, Leela. I sure appreciate it. Thank you so much. Y'all hit the thumbs up before you leave, and I hope you will subscribe, and I will see you over at Brittany's channel. See you later. Y'all have a great Friday. Bye.